Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Friday, October 16th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I am conscientious where I need to step into balance. And my alternative energy mantra was going to be I couldn't get the words quite right, so this is why I went with what I did. But basically being aware or realizing that the world is going to make you aware today where you need to work your way into balance. So be very aware of what's showing up for you. That being said, we have a new moon in Libra today. The new moon will reach its peak at 12:31 p.m. Pacific time. But this moon is definitely challenged. There's a bunch of square energy. We have some opposition energy happening as we build into the new moon and even as we move past the new moon. So Libra would like things to be peaceful, balanced, and yet it is through confronting, working through these squares, working through our resistance, working through any resistance that is coming up in our world, that we can find our way into balance, into peace, and into harmony. So let's start with the new moon, and let's start with the Sabian symbol, because I do feel like it feels good. This new moon feels good despite the squares, despite the challenges. It feels like a portal, and it feels like it's a portal opening up like into next year, so to speak. I was just doing my patron video, and there's two cycles that go with the moon. One cycle is the 2.5-week cycle, and one is the 6-month cycle. So the full moon in Libra, hold on, I have a sneeze coming. I hate when that happens. Excuse me. The new moon, or the full moon in Libra, will be the first full moon of the astrological new year in 2021. So it feels like it's opening us up to that kind of larger cycle, that larger portal to be looking into. The Sabian symbol for the new moon at 23 degrees Libra is a Chanticleer's voice, herald sunrise. And I didn't know what a Chanticleer is. I guess it's a form of a rooster. So it's basically heralding a new beginning, a bright new morning. And like I said, it feels like that's like talking about March or April, probably Aprilish. I'm not sure when the Aries or the Libra full moon will be, but that'll be the first full moon of our astrological new year. And so it's like, yes, hold the vision, hold the space for that new beginning, for bright, beautiful, wonderful things happening. Yes, there is still more to process, and we see that even in this new moon energy as we have these squares, as we come across challenges in and through the day, and yet holding space for the beauty of new beginnings, holding space for even just beautiful things. That's part of the process in and through this new moon energy. So remembering, even as you go through the challenges, to look for the good. So let's talk about some of these challenges that we're going to be feeling with this new moon in Libra energy. So we start the day with the moon squaring Jupiter. We have a lunar opposition to Mars. We'll have the moon connecting to the north node in Gemini. So that's actually a beautiful, strong trine connection, supportive of like, what are the changes that you're being called to make to find your balance in and through this? As you face the resistance, what are those changes that you're being called into that bring you into that balance, that bring you into that harmony? So that's a supportive energy. We have the moon square Pluto. So that's the last square before the new moon. Then we have the new moon, like I said, 12:31 p.m. Pacific time. Then we have the moon squaring Saturn. And then we have the moon moving into Scorpio late in the evening. So, like I said, a bunch of these squares moving us through this energy. So the squares, it may be resistance that we feel outside of ourselves. And yet, I always think it's very important, even if we're experiencing resistance outside of ourselves, is there any resistance that is happening internally where we can be called to make those changes? Again, I find that trine with the north node very supportive in this energy. We have to be aware because that means there's also a connection, a sextile actually, to the South Node. This is an opportunity. This is a portal to make new decisions. At the top of my cards, I have the compromise card, which is what I always call the don't compromise card. In reverse, I'm feeling this calling us to realize, where have you been compromising what you value? Where have you been compromising what you're worth? Where have you been compromising your personal balance, harmony? I always say that's one of the biggest lessons of Libra, is realizing that Libra will often create harmony outside to the detriment of the internal, to the detriment of themselves. And so this is a call to harmony within yourself before trying to make it right out there. Because if you're in turmoil, no matter how much you're trying to make it right out there, you're actually contributing to the turmoil. So realizing this is where you put your own oxygen mask on first and help yourself. Where are you being called to not compromise, to really find that integrity within yourself? And that goes hand in hand with those Pluto-Saturn squares, your personal authority, your personal integrity, your personal empowerment in and through this energy. But the connection to the North Node is saying, hey, there is empowerment here for you. I would also say, even in that opposition with Mars that we're going to be feeling, you may have some anger, you may have some frustration come up. That may give you a sign where you have been sacrificing or compromising a little bit too much and you're not in balance and harmony. Now, these don't have to be big, gigantic things. These just may be tiny little, almost seemingly insignificant things, but it's those tiny little pebbles that can end up creating a dam, blocking that flow. So awareness of that can bring, surprisingly, massive shift. This doesn't have to be major. Maybe, could it be major? Yes, maybe it is. And yet, even just like a commitment to yourself, I commit to my balance, I commit to my worth, I commit to my myself in through this, I commit to a relationship with myself. It may be just that creates the shift. Now, again, there may be tests from outside authority. That's part of that Capricorn energy. That kind of tests your resolve in that. So be aware of that. I also have, speaking of reverse cards, the politics card. And I pulled this, I think, in the Patreon video as well that I just did. Don't put on a mask. It is okay for you to be true to yourself. It is okay for you to be real. Don't compromise. Don't put on a mask. Don't play politics. Don't harmonize out there. Find that balance and harmony. Find your center and work from that place. And remember that your center, I love this. I love those cards. Remembering back to our Virgo lessons, body, mind, spirit, soul, heart. When you are balanced, you are connected to all of those things. It isn't just mental. It is participation between all of those energies. So make sure those energies are on board as you follow through. I guess I'm digging into the cards. I also have the exhaustion card and the flowering card. I feel like that's a big part of finding our balance, is listening to your body. So honoring the rest that's needed. This may be later in the day as the moon goes void of course. You may feel kind of that exhaustion take over, and it may be that you need some rest to kind of set in I don't know what the right word is, but to honor, I guess, the commitment that you've made to yourself and your balance, and to allow yourself to flower and bloom into that. So do be aware of it. But the day in and of itself, it may be a little, imbalance, out of balance, imbalance, out of balance as we move through these squares. Like I said, it's always nice. The moon moves fairly fast. So if you're feeling tension in one moment, honor yourself. What is that tension? Where is the resistance? What is that square? How can you work through that for yourself? And just trust. The flow will keep going and it'll pass, and you'll find yourself back in that center and back in that harmony. Moon into Scorpio. That is going to be late in the evening, so I will probably do that in tomorrow's scope because I'll have tomorrow's scope out before it even shifts. But, remembering, I guess the moon in Scorpio reminds us we've got this Mercury and Scorpio process going on that can pull us to the depths. It's good to be able to go there, like I've been saying, but also keep buoying yourself. Find buoyancy in the light for yourself. So, that being said, you can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. You have the power. And stay curious. Namaste.